Anderson?
Well, in order to get a post-Saddam Hussein Iraq, first the U.S. military has to get Saddam Hussein, and that is what they are, of course, trying to do right at this hour. We have a bulletin from Reuters, Reuters reporting that Britain was not part of the, did not take part in the missile attack overnight. 42 cruise missiles fired in this initial attack from a number of USS ships, U.S. troops, the USS Cook, the Cheyenne, the Bunker Hill, Montpelier, among others, were all involved, as well as some F-117 stealth fighters, probably dropping some sort of bunker buster munitions. So that a report from Reuters crossing right now on the wire that Britain was not part of the missiles attack overnight. Becky Diamond is standing by on the USS Milieu, which is on a destroyer. Becky, what are you seeing and hearing?
Well, Anderson, this morning about 5 a.m., this ship Milieu launched 8 Tomahawk cruise missiles. I could see in the distance about half an hour earlier the Bunker Hill launched a salvo as well. So plenty of cruise missiles were launched this morning. Of course, we don't know the targets here on the ship. Spectacular sight. Now, these missiles travel above about 700 to 1,000 miles, speeds up to 550 miles an hour. They were launched successively about 10 seconds apart. So for a minute and a half, it took about a minute and a half to launch all 8 on the Milieu. Anderson?
It must have been just an extraordinary sight. We're actually seeing some of the video right now of some cruise missiles launching. I'm not sure if it's from the ship you're on, Becky, but just an extraordinary sight this morning, and we've yet to learn what the effect of those 42 cruise missiles, which were targeted, we know at this point, targeted towards Saddam Hussein and some of his leadership, apparently, reportedly meeting in a house, just an everyday house in Baghdad. We do not yet know the impact, both literal and the literal impact those munitions had. Becky Diamond, thanks very much for that report. We are now going to, where should we?
We're going to stick with the idea of military strategy, in fact, Anderson, and we are going to head over to Miles O'Brien, who has Alec Fraser with him. We'll talk a little bit more about that. Hi, Miles.
Hi, Heidi. I'm joined by retired Navy Captain Alec Fraser, and let's talk a little bit about these cruise missiles and the flight of them. We should point out, we don't know the specific targets, exactly where they are. We do know the point of origin, generally speaking. We know we're talking about the Red Sea and the Persian Gulf as the point of origin for these 42 cruise missiles, which ultimately ended up in and around the Baghdad area, we believe, although there might have been some other targets. Nevertheless, what we've done is, through the help of some of our animation folks here, we've created a bit of a computer model to give you a sense of how these cruise missiles flies. TLAM, I should point out, stands for Tomahawk Land Attack Missile. This is staged, as you can see, from the Red Sea. SSN stands for submarine down there. And as you can see, flying across the Saudi Arabian Peninsula. Alec, what are we watching for here? I noticed they kind of zigzag.
Well, they're zigzagging because you can pre-plan it to avoid radar detection or avoid people seeing it. So you can come in undetected, hit the target from a number of angles, as we'll see here shortly, and it can achieve the surprise level you're trying to get.
This idea of convergence, is it often part of the plan? There's that zigzag we're talking about. Is it often part of the plan to have cruise missiles coming from very separate directions arrive at the same time, at the same place?
The air tasking order, which puts all the missiles onto a target at a given time, deliberately tries to come in from various angles and from various platforms in case one or two don't perform correctly or a ship's not able to do something for whatever reason.
All right.
There's a lot of background.
Now, you'll note we had an F-117, a white line in there, which was drawn. The F-117, as you well know, is the, people would know it as the Nighthawk. It is the stealth fighter. Dates back to the 80s. This was the first stealth aircraft in the U.S. inventory. Able to carry 2 bombs in its bomb bay door, laser-guided weapons, GBU-27 most likely. That's that bunker buster we were talking about, kind of a mini bunker buster. But what's interesting about this is, as we told you many times, supposed to be invisible to radar. That's the design. Nevertheless, this particular aircraft, we know today, had an escort. And Alec knows quite a bit about this. This is the EA-6B Prowler. It is designed to make our radar screens just go to hash. That's essentially its mission. Tell us what it does.
Well, it does. There are 2 people that sit in the back of this aircraft, and their job is to monitor the electronics, the radars that are coming out from the opposition forces, lock onto those radars, capture the signal, actually enhance the signal and send it back to the radar repeater so it looks like a lot of fuzz when you're looking at it.
And so it's interesting. I guess you could put this in the category of overkill if you've got a stealth aircraft. to use the EA-6B Prowler is, I guess, belt and suspenders might be the way to.
Well, I think we learned back during the Gulf War that the stealth actually can be seen when it's real close, or various radars happen to lock onto it by happenstance. The EA-6B can jam those radars and make sure that they don't achieve the kill that they're trying to do.
Watch this scenario right here. There's the EA-6B. As it comes in, there's the radar operator. He's either going to see kind of a white out there, and in some cases they can get multiple false targets, which can obviously make it very easy for stealth and non-stealth aircraft to accomplish their mission. So that gives you a sense of what's going on. Lots of moving parts in all these missions. What's interesting and what's worth pointing out here is this really isn't the official start of what we're calling this shock and awe approach. This is just a kind of, by comparison, a very small strike, isn't it?
I think so. 40 missiles is not a lot for an opening salvo, and we've been hearing a lot of the people saying that we think that there's going to be a large attack all at one time. 40 missiles is not very much, fired by a few ships. There's a lot more yet to come.
All right, Alec Fraser, retired captain of the United States Navy, thank you very much for giving us those insights. Back to you guys.
Actually, Miles, I'd be interested in sort of knowing a little bit more about how long does it take to reprogram one of these Tomahawks. I mean, we heard reports that the order was given around 6:30 at the White House by